loading donkeys because they are really different to horses. The thing to remember with donkeys is their fear response is to freeze, and if you're in a situation, you're trying to get them to do something and they become so overwhelmed that they freeze, it's incredibly difficult to progress from that point. So I'll just explain, when you're loading them onto a horse float or getting them up a truck ramp, you've got to break it down into 3 stages with them. So, sorry, it's not easy with such an enthusiastic donkey. Good. So your first thing is to get 2 feet onto the ramp. So that's actually the hardest and slowest part. If you just point them up, if you try and do it in one motion and try and make it introduce the ramp and the float at the same time, you'll get a fair response. So you simply have food and get their feet onto the ramp, and that's all you want to do. And you block them so they can't actually see, they're not being asked any more than what's happening here. It can take quite a while to get those feet on the ramp, and you simply you put the foot, I do all clicker training style, so I put the foot on the ramp and then give them a feed, and then do it with the other foot, and then you continue. Once they're on, you just keep backing them off and you start all over again, and they're ready to progress. Once the feet are coming on confidently, then you step up, and again you're not going for a full load, but your next goal is to get all 4 feet on the ramp. And they're going to be quite cautious with the ramp, and it will take a while, and you just got to be patient and stay as chill as possible, and eventually all 4 are on the ramp. So you've got to spend a bit of time just getting that established. So they've really got to have some time just standing all 4 feet on the ramp and nothing happens. And once you're feeling that they're really confident with that step, your next thing is to get them under the roof of the float. This isn't quite so hard. Donkeys aren't super claustrophobic, but you just stand back and just wait for them to come in, and again, just once you've got to this stage, the rest is pretty straightforward. Pressure tends to just shut donkeys down, but I will show you what to do to load a donkey that is just not playing ball and just raising up on you. So, good. So we use the tow bar. Now you've used this with a donkey that may have never been on a float before, and you don't really have time to muck around. Ideally, you have pretty strong men. But the trick is you have one person whose job is to be in charge of the tow bar. So use a long rope, ideally something a bit better than a lunge line, wrap it around the tow bar, and you have somebody at the front, and they wrap it a couple of times, and that person's job is to pull on the rope when there's slack and basically hang on to the rope. So the idea is the donkey simply can't and isn't allowed to go backwards. So you wrap around, and then you have, again, ideally, 2 people either side of the donkey. By this stage, the donkey is completely locked up, and we're talking a very heavy, strong, powerful piece of four-legged resistance. And it's a 1, 2, 3 and heave using the shoulders, and the person as each heave, then you slacken up the pull the slacken on the rope. And it's not pretty, it's not pretty, but you'll definitely, using that approach, you'll definitely get a donkey on. An important thing to remember with donkeys is they're driving animals. So if you're leading a donkey somewhere and they won't go forward, if you've got a long rope and can get behind them, a donkey that won't come forward being led will actually will move on fine, usually. Move on fine if you get behind and just drive them like they're plough horse. Again, if you're on your own and just aren't making any progress in your long line, you can use the tow bar and the line and the long line pull, and you can either use, for safety sake, it is better to have a stick to help drive, just to extend your arms so that you're not putting yourself in the firing line, and also so then you've got the lunge line round, so as you're driving them upwards, you're holding them and pulling them straight. So anyway,